What's up, you guys? Today we are doing a podcast episode with two people that I found on Instagram that were interested in recording a podcast with me, which was a first. Most people ignore me, but these two did not ignore me. So thank you all for that. And yeah, so today we're just going to talk about just some stuff going around the NFL, NBA. There's going to be a brief college talk. We're going to bring up I did mention the transfer portal. We're going to bring up the transfer portal for all college sports, kind of have a debate on that, and then yeah. So from there, let's start with kind of the way I ended up meeting that one Bills fan who is not on screen right now, but he is. But so that one Bills fan, I met him. I saw him post a story on Instagram about Zay Flowers, and you're not the biggest fan of Zay Flowers, but so let's explain how that kind of happened. What makes you dislike Zay Flowers so much?
Um, I've seen a little bit of him. I'm obviously not, of someone I don't like. I don't watch the most film on them, but what I've seen, for the Bills and what we need, he is definitely not our number one need, and I would not take him over at least three or four wide receivers in this draft. I don't want him or see him on my team. He just doesn't seem to fit well in our scheme. He wouldn't get targeted. He just wouldn't see a lot of playing time in our scheme, in my opinion.
So you're saying you've seen him mock to the Bills and you do not want that? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I've seen
Okay.
quite a few. Yeah.
So I'm a UNC fan. You can see behind me on my thing here. So I was very shocked. I was watching a Boston College game and I was like, and these guys kept calling him the best wide receiver in the ACC. These announcers, and I'm like, I don't know if you ever heard of this guy. His name's Josh Downs. He's
Yep.
been hurt for 2 games, and he's still got the best numbers in the ACC. I don't know if you've heard of him, but yeah, he's pretty dang amazing at football. So he's like, in my opinion, I think the wide receivers for this draft, it's definitely, in my opinion, y'all step in whenever. I think it's Quentin Johnston, uh, Jordan Addison, Smith and Jigba, Hyatt,
Yeah.
Downs, Flowers.
That is literally, I love that, honestly. Like, I think Downs, like, I watched him because Oregon and UNC, they faced each other this year.
Oh, yeah, and the Holiday Bowl, that was a fun game.
That was a really fun game, and I'm not gonna lie, we got absolutely torched on defense. Like, yeah,
I don't think Downs played that game, did he? Downs playing that one?
I want to say he did. I think he did.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else then, because I swear one of our receivers didn't. Antoine Green, that's who didn't play. Antoine Green didn't play because he didn't want to injure his hamstring because the field was so crappy. That's what it was. He even came out and said that. But yeah, so
Yeah, you just absolutely like torched our team. All of your offense. I think it was definitely primarily an offensive game, and obviously Smith-Njigba, he hasn't played in a while, but the talent's obviously there. Quentin Johnson is just a absolute beast on the X slot, and then who else is there?
Jordan Addison and Hyatt.
Yep.
Yeah, Jalen Hyatt. I want to spend a minute talking about him. I think he needs more love, 100%.
I don't know about that. I think he showed some. He was pretty. I didn't watch much Tennessee this year, other than the Tennessee Alabama game, and he torched Alabama, which is not normal. But so yeah, that was kind of like, wow. He's not going to be he's not much of a route runner, but he'll just burn you with speed. Kind of, from what I've noticed, he's very fast. He's not going to sit there and try to juke you out your shoes like Flowers. He'll sit there for 20 minutes doing juke moves, trying to burst off the line and go.
Yep.
Now, Zay, what's his name? He's gonna not Zay. Hyatt is just gonna maybe do one stutter and go, and he's just gonna outrun you. But yeah, I think it's. But yeah, personally, as a Chiefs fan, I'd like to see. I'd be okay with any of these receivers as long as it's not. Of course, I'd love Downs on the Chiefs. I personally prefer not a guy who's injury prone. I know Smith and Jigbo was injury prone, had injuries. So a guy like Quentin Johnston would be nice. We already have a bunch of really small. We already have Tony, so he'd be a small receiver. I'd much rather have I'd rather have Downs, Hyatt. I'd be okay with Flowers, but I understand why you wouldn't want Flowers. And yeah, that's how I feel about that right now. So
Yeah, and
uh
sorry.
Preston, you haven't said much, but you got anything
Oh,
to say?
well, I'm a Steelers fan, so we're not going to draft a receiver, obviously, with our first pick at least.
Yeah, not Michelle's first pick. Probably
But
not.
we're most likely going corner. Gonzalez won't be there for sure. Witherspoon probably won't be there. We could probably go either Porter Jr., Deontay Banks. There's a bunch of guys. I'd prefer Porter Jr. personally.
Yeah, I've been doing a draft board of my own that I've been making, and I have just now started to get to linebackers on that draft. I've got a very hard deadline that is passing. It's called the draft that happened on Thursday. So I kind of started it way too late and then wasn't going fast enough, but I should be able to finish it by the end of tomorrow. So, and then I'll probably live stream the draft by myself and then see where I go from there. But yeah, anyways, let's talk about the kind of NFL free agency frenzy. I put that there. We're gonna skip over NBA playoffs and go back to that in a little bit. But like NFL free agency, I remember last year was absolutely crazy, but this year was just like I don't know, this year was different in so many ways. It's like I didn't pay attention to it much. I don't even know if the Chiefs have made any moves, but what have y'all's teams done that you either dislike or like?
Ryan, you can go first.
Oh, I was just gonna say you can go first, but I'll start, I guess.
No, you.
We signed Deontay Hardy and Trent Sherfield off the Dolphins, which I don't mind Sherfield because I think he's like 27, but the Dolphins really liked him as a team player, which is, I think, something that we kind of need right now, especially with the Diggs situation, whatever's happening, because he still hasn't showed up to the meetings that started last Monday.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And what else did we do? I think we made a lot of re-signings. Like we re-signed Tyler Bass a few days ago for like 4 years, 21 mil. I love that. We re-signed a few D linemen. Who do we get rid of? I'm trying to think right now. Oh yeah, we signed the McGovern guy, the guard, and then we signed David Edwards out of LA. I like those two signings. Just David Edwards was hurt, and Connor McGovern wasn't really known to be like the best lineman, especially. I mean, I've seen his PFF grades. Like he's much more of a pass blocker than a run blocker. So that could be a concern, but at least I'm just happy we got some guard depth before the draft so that maybe we can go tackle with our first pick, or linebacker or trade back. There's a lot of possibilities now what we can do with that pick since we signed a guard.
Yeah. Well, I'm personally for the Chiefs draft wise, I don't know what exactly I want. We re-signed Derek Nunati, defensive tackle. We run a 4-3 scheme, so he gets a lot of snaps. So we re-signed him. I don't remember what happened to Clark. I don't remember what happened to Clark, but I don't think he's coming back. He might be though. I don't remember. The Nadi's leaving, or Nadi's coming back. We signed a Chargers linebacker, Tranquil, defensive tackle, Cowart. He's probably not going to get much playing time. Blake Bell is tight end depth. Re-signed him. Mike Edwards, Tampa Bay safety. We signed Jawan Taylor. That's a Jacksonville offensive tackle. So that's an Orlando Brown replacement. We lost him. We lost most of our wide receiver depth to free agency. Juju and Hardman, and then we lost Orlando Brown to the dark side, Cincinnati. And then, and then another offensive lineman, Charles Amenhu. I have no idea how to pronounce his last name. He was all right. We re-signed Allegretti, and yeah, so it's been somewhat. Well, there was a little bit more. Hold on. So yeah, that's kind of we've been fairly quiet in free agency. There's been a bunch of rumors about DeAndre Hopkins coming over, which I'd be perfectly okay with. But yeah, and we also Blaine Gabbert is going to be playing Matt Mahomes' backup, so that's what we know for now. But yeah. So what's going on with the Steelers, Preston?
Well, I like I don't know. Patrick Peterson was our first signing. Uh, that could be a hit or miss in my opinion, but I think it has a higher chance of being a hit sign. Um, we signed. I don't know. People haven't been paying attention this much. We signed a Eagles guard. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Isaac Sumalo. He was playing pretty good. They got a new offensive lineman. I think that could help the line. And then we re-signed Demonte Casey, who played amazing. When Terrell Edmonds was hurt for a couple of games, and we lost Terrell Edmonds, so that was actually turned out to be a huge signing. And then we also just traded for Allen Robinson. So
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's big. Well,
yeah.
kind of. He didn't get much He didn't get much thrown towards him in LA, but
Yeah, I think it could be a big turnaround for him if we play him the right way.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, before we kind of move on, I guess I want to talk about Patrick Peterson because you were saying it could be a hit or miss. I honestly like this might just be me, but I think a veteran signing who can like mentor young corners, especially if you guys draft Jordy Porter Jr., Deontay Banks, I think Pat Pete will play a huge role in their development, which would be really nice for them. And A-Rob, I mean, I'm not trying to blame, but Matthew Stafford,
Matthew
doesn't
Stafford. Yeah,
really
it was Stafford.
I think you don't have to feel bad or anything.
and what was it? Allen Robinson in the seventh for a seventh or something. It was very, very cheap. So it's kind of low risk, could be high reward, could be mid reward. I don't think it's necessarily a bad move. So I think your guys' free agency was actually pretty good. And the Chiefs, as far as receiver goes, forget his name. Is it like Justin Ross? Wasn't he like
Oh yeah, Justin Ross. We traded for him from the Giants. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, shoot, if he goes as good as the last Giants receiver we got, that would be pretty nice. I mean, Kadarius Toney's pretty dang sweet. So if we could get both of them, that would be pretty nice. But I don't know. I don't know much about the guy. Mahomes said he's a pretty cool. Mahomes said he's one of the harder workers he's ever had as a teammate, which I guess is just a thing that the Giants do. I guess I don't know. But again, quickly before we move on to what's our next thing on the board? The next thing we have is NFL teams / players that we think will fall off the hardest next year. But before we move on to that, let's talk about some big news out of the Bills safety room. Damar Hamlin is back, and he is, I don't know if he's cleared to play, but he's able. He's on the mend, and I don't know exactly what it is, but he's back. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, so Brandon Beane went on a conference saying that he is able to play football next year. And so that's really good news. And Hamlin confirmed it as well in his conference. So definitely good news there. And I mean, he obviously won't see much playing time with Poyer being back on that 2-year deal for like 14 mil or something. But I mean, it's still good news. It gives us depth. It gives, maybe Hyde or Poyer to rest. After all, Poyer and Hyde, they're 32 years old. So, they don't have much time left. So it's I guess it's definitely good news.
It's good depth for sure. Absolutely.
Plays only one snap. If he doesn't win comeback play of the year, it's rigged, bro. It's rigged.
He was not alive, and then he's playing again. But
yeah, it's kind of like Alex Smith a couple years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing. NFL teams or players. Oh no, we already talked about the NFL. We didn't talk about this. NFL teams what NFL teams need to address in the draft. I think, and a specific thing on the Panthers, we all know what the Panthers need to address. It's quarterback. But what do y'all think y'all's biggest team needs are at the moment?
Preston, you can start.
Well, I don't know. The Texans, there's a chance. It's not a very likely chance, but I've seen multiple reports. I'm not a rumors guy, trust me, but
I'm not either. So go ahead. Whatever. Go ahead.
A report about the Texans possibly passing on a quarterback in the second pick. That's not happening, I don't think, but
I doubt it.
The draft, but they're gonna probably go with Bryce Young. I think, because Panthers are most likely taking Stroud.
Yeah, didn't like a guy say like when you live, then like the coach for the Panthers be like, when you live in Charlotte, you could come over all the time. He said something like that in like a press conference I saw. I follow a guy, his name's Panthers Report, I think. He's on Instagram and TikTok. He's been doing stuff. He said I asked him to be on here a couple weeks ago, and he was like, nah, I can't right now, but maybe eventually. But yeah. So that's so he said something about he'd like Stroud. So I don't know. Stroud seems like a good option, but I don't know. For me, I think the Chiefs, I think they mostly need a guy at wide receiver.
Yeah.
So if we can trade with a guy like if we can trade for Hopkins, then that's whatever. Trade our pick for Hopkins. I am okay with that. But I'd also like to see Josh Downs.
Yeah.
Or Hyatt or Flowers, anybody really. But Quentin Johnson is probably my favorite. But if he falls to 30, 31, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, that would be a steal.
Yeah, that would definitely
because he's my best receiver, and there's 7 other teams that could really use a receiver over him. So I don't know. So over the Chiefs, but yeah. So I hope that if the board comes down, the Chiefs don't fall for Flowers. That's my main thing. But yeah.
Yeah, Zay Flowers is not the number one. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead. I just wanted to point that out.
No, you're good. I'll start with my team. Definitely, since we took care of guards, at least guard depth, I would like for us to go for tackle or linebacker linebacker. Geez. Those are probably the top 2 needs. I could see us maybe drafting. I mean, I know I've seen a few mock drafts of us drafting Bijan. I just don't see it after getting Damian Harris. You know, he's more of our powerhouse back, and James Cook, which by the way, I think that's going to be a sneaky duo to face. I think James Cook's going to be amazing next season, and I think that might be biased, but I truly do believe that. But I think our team's pretty simple, but I want to talk about a team that's not so simple. I think the Raiders, there's 2 big needs that they need, and that is edge or anyone that's not Max Crosby. It's like right end or corner. So
Yeah.
assuming whatever happens, we'll say Jalen Carter goes at 5, maybe we'll see. And we'll say either Witherspoon or Gonzalez goes at 6. And then
whichever one you like out of the pick, would whoever's left pick the best available player out of those 2 positions.
Yeah, so let's say Witherspoon goes at 6 to the Lions, and then the Raiders are stuck with either Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech or Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. Like, what do you do? I'm not. Oh my God, I don't know what they're gonna do there.
I think the main thing they need is a new coach. But again,
yeah.
Chiefs fan here. So Raiders, take your time figuring all that out. We're just gonna go win the division 7 more times.
You know what? Yeah.
Dude, like the Raiders secondary has been atrocious for multiple years, dude. Like,
oh yeah.
In the last time they had a star corner.
Long time.
I don't even know.
They got rid of Jonathan Abram as well. He was all right. He had a lot of injuries, but that once again leaves another hole in your secondary. And they had didn't they have like Rock Yassin last year? And isn't he gone already?
Yep.
So, yeah, they had Rock Yassin. I remember they made a joke about some guy, Divine Diablo. He got drafted by the Raiders. I don't remember what position he was, but
the linebacker.
He was a linebacker. Okay, I thought he was corner for some reason. I knew it was defense. I didn't know, but I was like, you have that guy. He was a 6th-round draft pick, but you have him. He's a linebacker though, so never mind. But yeah, so let's move on to who do y'all think what NFL teams will fall off the hardest this year? I'm not sure. I think I don't know about that. I think the Cardinals were kind of bad last year anyways. I think the Cardinals are definitely not going to be good this year. I think they could probably win the number 1 overall pick. But I think some good risers, which is somewhere down the board, who are some good risers this season. I think could very much be like a team like just left my mind. Like who would be this year's Jaguars? I was thinking like, man, it just left. I was thinking of somebody in the out the ear. But like, oh yeah, the Panthers or the Falcons. I think the entire NFC South could be either amazing or terrible next year.
Since we're on the topic of the NFC South, I might as well
mid.
that division is so wide open right now. And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have a take. I made this right before 2023 started. I said the Falcons will make the playoffs next year, and I still stand by that. I still believe that. I think it can definitely happen. And I also think with the amount of signings the Bears have made, it has set them up for amazing success, in my opinion. And I think they can definitely sneak in as a 6 or 7 seed, especially considering how weak the NFC is compared to the AFC. No offense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah, because the Bears, I mean, DJ Moore, I think with him and Justin Fields, I think Fields finally has a weapon. I'm assuming they address O-line in the draft, especially with their first round pick. So, which will help protect Fields. They
You just
signed.
switched from NFC South to NFC North.
Yeah, I know I did.
just you lost me for a minute there, but it's like, wait, what just happened? But yeah, I think a team like I don't know about that, but I think the entire NFC South could boost up huge next season, especially the Panthers and Falcons. I don't know about I think the Saints are in purgatory right now, and the Bucks have no idea what they're doing because they don't have Tom Brady, but
yeah,
they have Baker Mayfield, which is in the infamous words of who was it? Devontae Adams. When you're going from Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer, I mean, you just never know. But Baker Mayfield is up in the Hall of Fame. That's going to be hilarious. But yeah. Yeah, so let's move on to I don't remember who put this in here, but it was Lamar Jackson and his situation plus the Jalen Hurts contract. I really stopped paying attention to all that because it's like I'll figure it out. Whoever signs him signs him. Whoever doesn't sign him signs him. I don't care. The Jalen Hurts contract feels like every year since the Mahomes contract has been like, oh yeah, he's the highest player. No, he's not. Now he is. Now he's not. And you keep swinging like it was Mahomes, then it became Deshaun Watson, and now it's Jalen Hurts. And yeah, Tua Tagovailoa and Joe Burrow are going to get paid $1 billion a year. So,
God, I'm not ready for that. And
I
mean,
and Josh Allen, I didn't think about him, but I'm pretty sure he already got his extension.
Yep, he got his. He went down to the 7th highest. He's making 43, 45, I think 43 mil a year as of right now. So, which in contrast, compared to like Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson, that looks freaking amazing compared to like all those other quarterbacks above him, besides like Mahomes and here's the difference. Jalen Hurts actually, he had an amazing year. Like no one's denying that at all. I just think 51 mil a year, Jesus. I'm glad they got it done now though, because like you said, when Joe Burrow gets paid, Tua, if he even is alive for that, Justin, like
that's a good point. That is a good point. Yes. Oh, we lost Preston. Preston had to leave, but yeah, so that's unfortunate. But
yeah,
he told us beforehand he had to leave, so Preston just left, which is an unfortunate loss. But yeah, so we'll continue on from there. But yeah, just know that he told us he had to leave, and he just had to leave. So we're good there. And yeah,
I'm here. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's here. We got this. Yeah. Preston's after he had watching this, like they just insulted me. They don't actually want me.
Why?
That's not true, Preston. We would have loved to have you, but show must go on. Anyways, yeah. So I do think that all these contracts are going to be absolutely insane. And the last NFL thing is going to be the gambling suspensions from the Lions. I'm so confused on like Calvin Ridley is probably fuming right now because it's like they got 6 games. 6.
I
got 17. But
Well,
yeah,
all I know is that Jameson Williams was gambling not on the NFL, which was what Calvin Ridley was doing, but he was
that's
gambling.
probably why. That's the only reason I can see why it's not a 7-game suspend. It's a 17 game and not or a 6 game, not a 17 game. That's the only reason I see that being a thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he was betting on college football, and
ah,
those other guys, they're suspended indefinitely. Like Quentin Cephas, or whatever his name is on the Lions, he got suspended indefinitely. I'm assuming he was betting on the NFL. I just like how? What? Why? You didn't learn from freaking Calvin Ridley?
yeah.
Well,
I think it's yeah. I don't understand all of it, but that's a big loss. And I think it was questionable whether the Lions were going to go wide receiver, but I think it's no question now they're going to go wide receiver with that first pick that they get. And then, well, with one of those picks, I think don't they have like a top 5 pick from somebody? Don't they have 2 picks?
they
They
have
have,
the sixth pick
they
and they
have
have the 18th.
I think with the 6th pick, it's way too early to go with wide receiver, but I think with that 18th pick, they're definitely going to see what's on the board and take one. But yeah, whether that's Downs, I'd love Downs to the Lions personally.
Him and
But
Amon-Ra? Ooh, that's
oh
good.
yeah, that's a fun one right there. But yeah, so that's kind of some big news there. I'm gonna have a mock draft come out on that for those of you for my channel. I'm gonna have a mock draft on that one for coming up soon ish. But yeah, so probably Monday or Tuesday this week I'll probably have a mock draft, and then Thursday we'll live stream the draft, which will be a fun little thing to do. And so let's move on to the NBA. The NBA playoffs are well underway. Game 4 for the Nets, Nets and Sixers tips off in about 4 minutes from the time we're recording this. So we do not know the outcome of that game now, but you guys will by the time you're watching this. Hopefully the goodness gracious, the Nets are still alive for by the time this one comes out, but it's possible that they're dead. So we're not going to talk about that one, but a possible sweep, which we put on there as possibility sweeps, could come from there. I don't think any other of the games are a possibility for a sweep. How many other games are there? 2-0, 3-0. Oh, we got 10 minutes of it. We got 10 minutes left, and then we'll have to switch over to a new call. If that happens, I'll just call you via Instagram and we'll figure it out.
All right.
But
Sounds good.
but yes.
And
So
there's Nuggets and Timberwolves. They're getting Nuggets are leading 3-0 after last night. I did not watch that game. It is boring.
don't care.
But I don't think anyone else is getting shut out right now. I don't think so. I think everything else is like 2-1, 1-2, unless I'm wrong.
Something like that. Yeah. I'm hoping the Kings can close it out this
I know,
soon.
I hate the Warriors. Hate them.
I don't hate the Warriors. I just love the Kings. Again, I'm a UNC fan, so any UNC player that's involved in the playoffs of any sport, I'll cheer for. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna be pulling for that's why I'm a Bulls fan too, which is why it sucked whenever the Bulls got eliminated. The Nets are probably done soon, so hopefully Harrison Barnes can go in a ring for the Tar Heels, but who knows?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tar Heels been a part of like the last 4 or 5 championship runs because Justin Jackson was on the Bucks, Danny Green was on the Lakers, Danny Green was on the Spurs, Danny Green was on the Raptors. Like, yeah, so Danny Green's been a part of like all the last championship runs, and then I don't think there was a Tar Heel on the last. Who won it last year? Who won it most recently? I'm trying to think. Who won it most recently? The Warriors. There was no Warrior. There was no guy on the Warriors.
No.
But yeah, either way, that's just yeah. So let's move on to the Nets game, dude. Like the Nets Sixers game, was it game 3? I watched that game, and if you follow me on TikTok, which some of you might not, some of you might, TikTok is the same as the Snapchat, same as the YouTube channel, B Sports Analysis. Go on there and follow me. I talked about it at the end of the first half, how much of a baby that I thought Joel Embiid was because he kept flopping after he initiated contact. Like I remember there was one play, he sticks his arm out like this, and then he flops. It was towards the end of the game. It was towards the end of the first half, and I'm sitting there yelling at my TV, like, "Are you kidding me?" Like NBA games have become almost impossible for me to watch because of the referee. Like that game became impossible for me to watch because of the referee. And then, yeah. So and then there was the one where Claxton stepped over him and then he kicked him in the groin, which should have definitely been a flagrant 2, but it wasn't. And if he had been kicked out, there's a whole nother way that game could have gone. But I'm not going to sit there and speculate on it. But I do think that there is something to be looked at there for sure. But there's the same thing with the Warriors Kings. That game starts at 3:30. So by the time this is uploaded, there's a chance there's a chance y'all might know the outcome of that one, but I don't know. So that one was also crazy. Game 4 for that. But just the Kings I don't even know how to say it. Like Domantas Sabonis, yes, he grabbed the foot, but I mean, there's other ways to handle it, Draymond Green, other than trying to kill the guy. But yeah. Like
I saw.
Don't grab my foot. Stop. Like, no, that's my 5-year-old brother's reaction to someone grabbing him. Like, let's not.
Rollins type stomp on the freaking ground. And yeah, so I saw the Warriors one. I did not see Nick Claxton's one, but I saw Joel Embiid's with Royce O'Neal, him flopping on the ground per usual.
Oh, you didn't see the kick to the balls? You didn't see that one?
Nope, I didn't. I'm not live. No, I saw it after, but I didn't see it
live. I was like, are you serious right now? They're not going to call that a flagrant because they call it a tech on Claxton for stepping over, which I understand that to a certain degree. And then he ended up getting ejected for a second technical foul for looking at him after dunking on him. Because, but that was dumb, but it's whatever. And then, and let's talk quickly about the NBA awards. And then I really don't want to have to extend to a second call to bring up the transfer portal, but we'll quickly talk about the NBA awards. And if we have time, we'll go to transfer portal. If not, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so let's go to NBA awards real quick. Didn't Jaren Jackson? So have they announced the awards yet? Have they not? I don't really keep up with NBA that much. So
I got you. So they did.
Yeah, got me. Let's do this. All right.
So they announced Defensive Player of the Year. That was Jaren Jackson. They announced Sixth Man of the Year, which was Malcolm Brogdon. And then they announced Coach of the Year, which was I don't remember his name, but it's the Kings coach. I don't follow coaches. I don't really care about them.
Yeah, I don't care about those guys. But
so they haven't announced obviously MVP. They haven't announced Most Improved Player. They haven't announced Rookie of the Year, which I want to talk about that for just like 30 seconds because Paolo is so close to winning like unanimous Rookie of the Year, but
it's Paolo.
A analyst voted for Walker Kessler, which I think is
former Tar Heel who left us, but it's fine, whatever. He left us for Auburn to get blown out by an ACC school. But, yeah, that was fun to watch. It wasn't because I actually had Auburn winning it all that year, but it's whatever. And then, I'm okay with Walker. I'm okay with that. I'm not a huge fan of Paulo Banchero, but again, Dookie, not a huge fan of that guy. But I understand he's phenomenal, and that's whatever. But I think he'll be all right. He'll be a solid. Yeah, I don't see anybody else winning it other than him. I mean, again, Kessler possibly, but I highly doubt it. So, and they haven't announced the MVP, but that'll probably be Embiid or Giannis.
Yeah,
or Jokic, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Mr. Triple Double, well, almost triple double. Sorry, but yeah,
Russell Westbrook is Mr. Triple Double. Never say that again.
Yeah, but I just don't. After all these flops from Embiid, I don't want Jokic to three-peat. I don't want Giannis to win again, but I don't want this absolute flopper of Embiid. It's literally lose.
I like Giannis, so I'm okay with Giannis winning it, and I don't see the appeal for Jokic, but I definitely do not want Embiid to win. Embiid will probably win it though.
Yeah.
But yeah. So let's talk. We have 3 minutes before we'll eventually be kicked off there. So if there's not an outro to this, that's why. But let's quickly talk about, I don't know if you pay attention to much college basketball or football, but let's talk about the college transfer portal. I am very saddened by the transfer portal. Puff Johnson, his brother was a UNC great. Cam Johnson is currently on the Nets. His brother Puff played for UNC 3 years, and he is now leaving to go somewhere. And it's very sad for me because I love Puff. But It's just one thing. It's like there's no like it's like in years past, my dad was like, it's so different because it's like you know who's going to be on the team unless they go pro. Like the North Carolina team would be the same team this year if it weren't for the transfer portal. Which I mean, I don't know if I like that or not, but it would be the same team essentially with that, except with we would have lost those two seniors. With the transfer portal, it's like, oh, yeah, here you go. And I think also COVID also kind of helped that because like COVID years, bang, you get 7 years of college. So it's very different. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like there's football. There's 2 portal openings. So Storm Duck, a UNC defensive back, left UNC. Storm Duck might be the greatest name ever, and if he does not go to Oregon, that is the worst missed opportunity possibly ever. But anyways, so Storm Duck to Oregon. Again, are you an Oregon fan? Was that you who was an Oregon fan, or was that Preston? Oregon fan. Yeah. So I'm pulling for him to go to Oregon. I don't know if he'd even start on Oregon. I just think it would be an NIL deal that would just be perfect. But either way, him to Oregon would be nice. But he committed to Penn State, and now he's back in the transfer portal.
Yeah,
it's like you can enter twice. I'm so lost. But I think that's just a football thing. So I don't know. But yeah, the transfer portal, especially for football, is so confusing, and I think it messed up a lot of the college stuff. Anyways, we got less than a minute left of this podcast. Sorry for the very abrupt ending. Sorry that we had to lose a member along the way. Rest in peace, Preston. But thank you guys all for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Where is stop recording? Stop video. Nope, that's not the wrong one. Where the world is it? Maybe I hit here. Oh, here it is.